As the most decorated officer in the history of this precinct, I am so proud of what I've been able to accomplish here. But I couldn't have done any of it without the help of all the other brave men and a couple women on the force. And I most certainly couldn't have done it without my beautiful wife, Cheryl. Everyone give a big round of applause for Cheryl. Come on, Cheryl, stand up. Oh, you are standing right. Sometimes your beautiful brown hair distracts me from how short you are. No, but seriously. She's so smart and the best accountant in the world, by the way. She handles all of our investments so well, sometimes I don't even know where the money's coming from. And she's so generous, she insists on filing my taxes for me every single year. But more importantly, she's always there for me when I need her. Like 15 years ago, when I was having trouble locking up the Cannoli crime family, this green-eyed beauty sat me down and said, "Bobby, I can tell this case is stressing you out more than usual. So why don't you try taking a different approach, thinking outside the box?" Then she asked me where I'd been looking for the cannolis, and I told her I'd been looking all up and down the docks. And she said, "Well, why don't you check out the warehouse on 14th Street? I know if I needed some place to run a criminal enterprise, that's the second place I'd pick." So the very next day I checked out that warehouse, and boom! Witnessed the biggest arms deal of my entire career, locked up the whole Cannoli family in one night. And it was all thanks to my brilliant wife telling me to think outside the box. And some people will say that it wasn't a real win just because the Biscotti crime family was able to take control of the old Cannoli territory, but criminals behind bars is a good thing. I don't care who you ask. And I'm not going to lie to you, it hasn't always been easy. There was that one time I got shot by one of the Biscotti boys. But wouldn't you know it, he turned himself in the very next day. The arresting officer said he looked scared half to death when he confessed. And once again, my amazing wife was there to support me through my whole recovery. Funny story, actually. The doctors kept prescribing me more and more pain meds, no matter how often I told them not to. In fact, no matter how many times I try to cancel it, I think I still have a running prescription that gets sent to my house every month. But lucky for me, Cheryl always throws those out for me, so I don't have to worry about it. Oh, my freckled cutie over there. Have I told you? Every time I start to get anxious about a new gang showing up in town, she always knows just what to say to me to calm me down and get me focused on taking them out. So much so, I'm pretty sure the Biscottis are the only gang I haven't been able to take down yet, and I have it on good authority that that's being taken care of as we speak. Also, thanks to my wife, you see, I heard some of the fellas at the station talking about who they thought the man in charge of the Biscottis could be, and how smart he has to be to evade capture all this time. And of course, my wife's the smartest person I know, so I looked at them and said, "You know, boys, maybe it's a woman in charge. Or were you too sexist to think a woman could be a criminal mastermind?" A week later, they came up to me and they told me they were finally able to get a witness description of the Biscotti boss. A short little brunette with green eyes and freckles, and what's that? A woman. If it weren't for my wife showing me just how smart women can be, we never would have gotten that description. I told her about that night, and I thought she might cry. She was so proud of me. But then she sat me down, had a conversation. She said, "Bobby, you know, you've been on the force for 35 years now. We're getting old. I think with this big break in the case, you should consider leaving on a high note." And I knew she was right. So the next day I went to my CO's office and I told him I was retiring. And of course everyone at the precinct knows just how brilliant Cheryl is. So when I told him that, he looked up from the police sketch he was holding of the Biscotti boss and said, "I bet that was Cheryl's idea, wasn't it?" Anyways, thank you all so much for coming to my retirement party, but soak it all in while it lasts, because by this time next week, Cheryl and I will be in Morocco, which she assures me is the perfect place to retire. And I have no doubt in my mind that she's right about that.